it's Edu-credible, which explores the wonderful world of academic innovation. Are you confused about submitting your assessment results? Are you fed up with complicated forms and procedures? Would you like to get more data on student achievement and the bigger picture of how our programs and requirements work together? Then stay tuned, because this week we introduce the GECCO-Matic. And now, here's your host, Biff Biffington.
Hey everybody! Are you as excited to be here as I am? I knew you would be, because today we're so lucky to have a very special guest with a special invention. She's the General Education Coordinator at Yavapai College. Please help me welcome Suki Wallenberger!
Hi everyone. Thank you, Biff. Hello everyone.
So Suki, tell me about the Edu-credible GECCO-Matic.
Well, Bill, the GECCO-Matic takes the drudgery out of assessment.
No.
That's right. Tell me, has this ever happened to you?
How will I ever get my assessment data entered?
Hey, Lindsay, have you submitted your assessment data yet? I have been compiling and calculating, and I just can't figure it out.
No, I haven't. I have papers to grade and committees to attend, and I just can't find the time. It's just too much.
It's a common problem. You teach and grade, you file and organize, and yet you still don't have the data you need.
But Suki, how can the GECCO-Matic help?
I'm glad you asked. The GECCO-Matic is a simple process by which you submit data from assignments you've already graded in a format that allows the college to easily determine how well our students are achieving larger program and general education goals. It allows us to see the big picture beyond achievement in individual classes.
That's Edu-credible! You mean there's no additional testing or assignments required?
That's right! The GECCO-Matic uses assignments you already require in your classes to identify and collect assessment data. Then that data can be combined with disciplines across the curriculum to provide an overview of how YC students are doing in our overall general education learning outcomes.
But how does it work?
Well, if you teach a class that fulfills a general education requirement, then your class outcomes are already aligned with the outcomes of a general education category.
As you assess your own class's learning objectives, you are simultaneously assessing the gen ed outcomes. So it's simply a matter of determining which of the assignments address which class learning outcomes, and then submitting that data via the GECCO-Matic.
I believe an audience member has a question.
But I don't teach a general education class. I teach in aviation technology, so what can GECCO-Matic do for me?
Great question, Tim. The GECCO-Matic works for you too.
My name's not Tim.
If you teach in any of the college's AAS degree programs, your curriculum map designates particular courses as assessment points for various general education skills.
If your course is on the schedule to collect assessment data, you'll be informed at the beginning of the school year. When that happens, you'll also submit data from an assignment you already use in your course, an assignment that also allows you to observe and evaluate the general education skill your students use. So written communication might be assessed in an education class with a lesson plan, in a nursing class with an anecdotal note, and in an electrical technology class with a troubleshooting report.
Or perhaps a flight plan in an aviation technology program like Tom's.
My name's not Tim.
But Suki, how can information from so many professors and classes be combined? Is it really possible to speak a common tongue?
I'm glad you asked, Bert. Included in the GECCO-Matic are rubrics that are tied to each of the outcomes for each of the categories. This allows professors to assess different assignments in different classes, but still use a shared standard and a shared language. Ooh. Watch and learn, Bert. Watch and learn.
The GECCO-Matic uses Banner to integrate your rosters and class data with the assessment data you submit. No more filling out duplicate information or separate forms to fulfill your assessment requirements. Just log in by accessing My Services, Faculty, and Faculty Main Menu, or just click the bell, because everybody knows a bell is the international sign for faculty. And there you have it, the Faculty Main Menu, where you'll find Student Outcomes Assessment. Click on that link and you'll find every course scheduled for assessment this semester. To submit data for a particular course, click Student Outcomes Assessment. Once you've accessed the GECCO-Matic screen, you'll see 10 students listed.
That's right. You only have to submit data for 10 randomly selected students, not the whole roster.
Simply click on Enter New Assessment and enter the data for each learning objective. Remember, 1 equals no proficiency, 2, limited or developing proficiency, 3, full proficiency, and 4, exceeds expected proficiency. If you need a refresher, there's always a link to a rubric that will tell you more about the expected levels for each of the numbers. Limited proficiency is 1, developing proficiency is 2, proficiency is 3, advanced proficiency is 4. Each rubric is tied to the outcomes for that general education category. In written communication, we have 3 outcomes. Each is defined on the 4-point scale, which helps us maintain a common expectation for each of the outcomes. Once you've submitted data on each outcome for a student, click Submit, and then OK. And Banner will tell you that that assessment has been submitted and can be updated. Assessment data can be updated until the end of the grading period for that semester. Now, say you have a student who managed to come to class every day, but never did any work. That's what the V is for. V for vanished. Here you can indicate that a student didn't fail to achieve the outcomes, but that you have no work that you can use to evaluate that student's achievements. And finally, if you're teaching in an AAS program, in which some of the outcomes, but not all, apply to your assignment or the topic that you teach, you have the option of choosing NA. So in written communication, if your students aren't expected to integrate, synthesize, and document sources in their written work, you can click NA for outcome 1 and just submit evaluation on their organized and logical writing and their use of language. Submit your assessment data for each student and you're done. Return to Student Assessment Course Listing. If you teach exclusively within a particular general education category, for example, written communication or social sciences, you may see all of your courses listed as needing assessment data. If you teach in an AAS program, you're likely to see only one course listed as needing assessment data. Remember, on the AAS curriculum maps, each GECCO category only needs to be assessed once within the program.
That's it?
That's it. The GECCO-Matic identifies which classes are scheduled, chooses a random set of 10 students from your roster, identifies the learning objectives for the appropriate general education category, and gives you a link to the shared rubric for that category.
Wow, that's
Edu-credible.
Let's see what our audience has to say.
Do you have a question?
Suki, this sounds expensive and school budgets are tight these days. How much is the GECCO-Matic costing the college?
Would you believe nothing?
Wow!
That's right. The GECCO-Matic uses Banner, our registration program, to collect and store all of the assessment data. That saves the college money. But wait, there's more. Using Banner means all of our assessment data is safe and secure and complies with all FERPA regulations.
Will I have to submit data every class, every semester?
Great question, Betsy. No, you won't. The GECCO-Matic comes pre-programmed with a 5-year collection cycle for each general education category.
Courses that fall within a category will be part of a collection cycle for 2 years. In year 3, reports generated from the data will be returned to faculty for analysis. If the faculty decide any changes need to be made to the curriculum, that happens in year 4. And in year 5, those changes will be instituted. And it starts again in year 6. As you can see, there's a rotating schedule so that all Gen Ed categories are covered, but no one's expected to submit data on every category every year.
You have a comment, sir.
Hi, Mark Shelley here. I teach underwater basket weaving. So if I teach a class in which students use math skills to design an intricate basket weaving pattern, I only have to submit data for 10 students in that class. In the 2 years, quantitative reasoning is being collected.
You got it.
And in year 3, I'll get the aggregated data back again so I can see how well YC students across the curriculum are doing in applying math skills in their classes.
Yep.
Wait. Then in year 4, I'll work with other professors to institute any changes in the curriculum based on the data that we feel are necessary.
Yeah.
And those changes then go into effect year 5, and that's the 5-year assessment cycle?
That's the plan.
Why, that's Edu-credible!
Hey, that's my line.
Indeed it is, Maurice. Indeed it is. Why, just imagine.
Hey, Lindsay, you ready for our 3-hour lunch? Because that's what we professors do with our days.
You bet. I'm just finishing up entering all of my assessment data for all of my classes.
I know, it was a breeze with the GECCO-Matic. You just enter 1, 2, 3, or 4 for each student, and you're done.
I sure am. Let's go.
Well, that's all the time we have today on It's Edu-credible. I want to thank our guest, Suki Waldenberger, for introducing us to this great new innovation.
You're welcome, Brian.
I'm Biff Buffington saying good day and good education.